Now, you listen to me real good. I've told you once, I said it 1,000 times. You get out of those pagan, satanic, religious, Christian churches. Christians do not follow the commandments of the Bible. Christians do what they want to do. They make up their own laws, their own rules, and their own regulations. Come out of her, my people, and come out from among them. And it's real simple and easy to ascertain who are these people you need to come out from. Easy. Number one, if they keep Sunday, that's an automatic sign that you need to not have any fellowship with these commandment-breaking, wicked deceivers and seducers and bewitchers of the truth. Simple. Hallelujah. You never know. One day some of y'all may be pastors and elders. I guess if you want to, if there's a such thing, if you want to learn how to do this, you should follow how we do. Because some people do have a desire, but I sure wouldn't pursue it until time. I promise you that. Because our way is different than Christianity. It really, truly is. And our way is not our way, so to speak. It's his way. It's just that we are different than the people in this world and the religions of this world. Y'all ever notice how people are scared to talk to y'all about the book? That's because y'all some besetter forth of strange doctrines. Y'all get that, right? And the strangeness comes from you bringing new things to the ears. And you're not bringing nothing new. You get it? Abba Yahweh, we bless your magnificent name. You alone are holy, righteous, just, and true. We thank you for bringing us to another time and season to be able to be invited to your feast. We do not diminish the significance of it. We want you to speak to us in our hearts and our minds. You're true that it will resonate from the inside out. Bring forth an example to be a light to the Gentiles. Speak to us your words of truth on this Shabbat. We glorify the magnificent name of Yeshua, HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. We give you the glory for all things. Hallelujah. You may be seated. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, Pastor, they said, we notice you don't say amen or amen. And I do every once in a while. You know what I mean? But I ain't never read nowhere and that you had to conclude every prayer with amen. They did sayings with amen. Is it amen? Or is it amen? Or is it amen? Of course, we can argue that all day long. You know? We argue everything else. Might as well argue that too. Y'all getting all right. We got a few letters. Come on, Sister Ashley. Y'all doing all right this holy Shabbat morning? Y'all is good. It's good seeing y'all. The remnant of Israel.
Hallelujah. Aloha, Pastor. No question.
Aloha. Does that mean you are from somewhere about Hawaii or something if you're saying aloha? Okay, aloha. What are you supposed to say back? Aloha.
No question, but an acknowledgement, and it is this. You totally clarified things for me regarding fringes, internal as opposed to external, along with the analogy in keeping the commandments that you mentioned this past Shabbat 9/24/16. There are many times I wish to be part of Yah's family, and coming to understand the word through your teaching, I've found truth and heard the voice in me. May Yah's ministering angels bless your house and family of Straitway always for all he has blessed in your works. Mahalo Nui. Thank you very much. Shalom.
Well, shalom, man. I sure do receive those blessings. You know, a man like me, well, I don't get too many kind words. I wonder why. I haven't done nothing to nobody, but yet I'm hated. I did a video the other day I tried to upload. Of course, you know, when you have this overcast out here in the country, the phone signal, there's two things it can't get through. The phone cast, it can't get through the overcast, and it can't get through the chemical trails. The phone just won't upload. It'll start and it'll stop. You can have 3 bars, it'll be sitting there looking at it. You get close to the city, it runs like a Clydesdale. It's utterly amazing. But what was I saying anyway?
You're trying to upload a video. A video.
Oh yeah, upload a video. In that video, I was stating in the video, somebody had accused me of judging people. Y'all hear that? And so I actually stopped for a second, started thinking for a while. Let me see, who have I judged? And I be thinking too hard. I'm trying to figure out who I judged. Now I know that the word tells us to judge what? Righteous judgment. Got a bunch of judgment. And then it said that he that is spiritual, he judges all things. But yet he himself is judged by. That's the reason why I don't let people judge me. Because I know I'm the one spiritual. Now, you can judge, but that don't mean I'm going to sit there and let it take place. And I'm going to let your judgment perch on me. Does that make sense? And I thought to myself, I said, I get where they're coming from. Because I preach. And the word condemns, they accuse me of judging because they hate the conviction that the word brings forth. I looked up at the Father and said, Father, you sure did set us up, didn't you? Now I know the reason why we hate it. You tell us to speak your word so we can get our head chopped off. And the Father's happy for it too. You talk to people about stuff all day long, and nobody says anything. You start speaking the word, something takes place. That word really truly is spirit and life, then, isn't it? Something takes place when that word is spoken. Well, y'all's good. Come on, Sister Ashley.
Hello, Pastor. My name is, it's a man, he's 27. I've been looking into becoming Torah obedient for some time now. Also, I am an Army veteran and a prepper. I have a good understanding on what's going on in the world. Me and my family live mostly off-grid in Oregon, but are wanting to join a community. We are currently looking and praying, but are very wary of who to trust and whatnot. Thanks, and his number.
Hold on a second. I want to read something here for a second, all right?
Yes, sir.
No, it's over there. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. And neither said any of them that aught the things in which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common. And with great power gave the apostles witness to the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and great grace was upon them all. And neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many as were possessors of lands or houses sold them, and bought the price of them that was of the things that were sold, and laid them down at the apostles' feet. And distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. And Joses, who by the apostles surnamed Barnabas, which is being interpreted a son of consolation, a Levite of the country of Cyprus, having land sold it and bought money and laid it at the apostles' feet. That was Acts chapter 4, verse 32 through 37. You heard it, right? Yes. All right. And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, save yourselves from this untoward generation. Then they that gladly attitude received his word were baptized. And the same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls. And they continued steadfast in the apostles' doctrine, the fellowship, breaking of bread, and in prayers. And fear came upon every soul, as many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. And all that believed were together, and had all things common, and sold their possessions and goods, and parted them to all men as every man had need. And they continued daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking of bread from house to house, and did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising Yah and having favor with all people. And the Lord added to the assembly daily such as should be saved. Hallelujah. And what we forgetting is the setting then is that all our people were pretty much in one geographical location. We wasn't scattered to the four winds like we are today. Now we say we believe the Bible, right? Yeah, who believe it enough to do this though? It's one thing to have mental assent, but actions speak louder than words. And so we say, well, I'm not there yet. We have to wait till we get ready. You'll never be ready. And even when you get there, you still ain't ready. Because you can't be sitting and arguing with the apostles, trading words with the elders. You're going to be told what to do. In this generation, we don't like being told what to do. Look at I'm looking. See, the reason why they had a lot of power and they gave great witness to the resurrection was because of their oneness and their obedience. We have a bunch of religious people today. Everybody got a word, but nobody has a lifestyle. When y'all first came around here, y'all were terrified. Scared to death because you heard about the power, the witness, the lifestyle, the set apartness, and the devil was, man, yet still, you had all that fear, but it didn't stop you from coming, though. Now you're just like one of us, you're not scared no more.
It's another step if you ever get invited to move on to a community because your life's over then. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's a life of sacrifice. Can you imagine taking the proceeds of today and then laying it all down at the apostles' feet? Well, it says apostles. Well, that's a blueprint, isn't it? And then you have to actually trust that they have the Ruach in him and in them, and that they will do right by you. I got a question. How can somebody do right by you when your mind is not right? Because what you would consider right is not right by us. I had a guy who wanted to move here, and he told me I have to have Coke and a refrigerator. He says, now I have $80,000, Pastor Dowell. The only thing I'm asking you is Coke and a refrigerator. That's what he thought. Let me see, I read in here. They sold their possessions and good and parted them to all men as every man had needed. And they told the apostles they had to have Coke and a refrigerator. And to make a long story short, I said, no, you can't move here. Because we don't drink Coke on this community maybe once every 4 years. If that much. And if you have a caffeine fit, guess who have to put up with that spiritual condition? And when somebody telling you what they have to have, you know how many problems come with that? So I say you keep your $80,000 because $80,000 is not worth 80,000 headaches. I get people lie all over the community all the time. You ever heard of a guy by the name of Eric Funt? Yeah, he all over the internet, just lying all over the place. As Paul Harvey would say, now here's the rest of the story. This man and his wife and a child moved here on the community. He came with $8,000. He stayed here 3 months and was a thorn in our side every single day. On the community. He even came and knocked on the door one day when the brother was out doing wood runs. He came and knocked on my door. And he says, poo, 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 when you going to come out and do some work? I looked at him, I said, as long as you here, I ain't coming out. I went over to the dining hall because I do a lot of preaching. I said, this roof over your head, who you think built this? That wall that's keeping the elements off of you, who you think laid them blocks? So to make a long story short, after a while, you know, for instance, Donald Trump, he ain't physically built no buildings, but he get the credit for it. You know, right? I have not by myself physically built Straitway, but I get the credit for it. That's like you people out there that's deceived and giving to charities. You see a little bucket up here, and McDonald's, I mean, you still sneak into McDonald's, you know, give to the children's hospital, and your name ain't on there. You get to get a balloon on their window. Isn't that right? You get a balloon, you put your name on their window, that's the only recognition you get. When they get out in front of the general public, guess who gets all the credit? McDonald's does. McDonald's is giving a check to the Children's Cancer Society of the tune of $350,000. And guess who up every... You got your reward when you had your balloon put up on the wall. So anyway, after 3 months, he left the community. He said, I want all my money back. I said, I ain't giving it to you. I don't have to give it to you. See, you people go out there to Christian churches and you give tithes. You give offerings. Isn't that right? When have you ever asked for all your money back? Huh? No, your money. Your money. We're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit just for a brief moment this morning. Because a tenth that you have has never been yours. And you more faithful to the state because of legislation than you are to Yah. And you wonder why you still in want. I gave him back. I'll tell you what, I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you, I think it was $5,000 out of 8 for staying here 3 months. Where else can you go and live for $1,000 a month? And then you know what else I did? I turned around and sent him the rest of that $8,000 back over a period of time. You ain't never heard that story, have you? See, there's always two sides to every story. What you do, as soon as somebody says something, especially against someone who you personally just got a vendetta against, you automatically believe everything everybody say. And then as soon as we start telling you the other side, all of a sudden, what happens? Why don't you go challenge them for making a fool out of you and gaming you? Already, see, humans are stupid. Hey, I'm sorry. I've been a human for 50 years. I know how dumb we are. Now, what do you do when you hear the rest of the story compared to his lying story? And his wife didn't even want to leave. You know, you get them husbands who get all spiritual and you can see they're going off the deep end. And I said, no, you're going with your husband. So then what they do is they run to the court of public opinion and they give you their lies. And you believe them. What trips me out is they call it the testimony of Eric Funk. I was like, no, wait a minute. A testimony is about you overcoming and not being overcome. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. How is it a testimony when you've been oppressed? At least by your mindset. And you see what I'm talking about? See, this is how I get in trouble. Because I listen, I think, I can't be the only one thinking like this, right? I say all this because here's somebody think they want to move to a community. Why do you think all y'all around communities? Because one day you have a hope to get to a community. Because we got to get y'all the building done. Y'all heard my video, right? You can't go hocus pocus and expect these buildings to get up. And when you get there, can you live with your brother and sister? Can you? Can you be told what to do? So I talked about the wilderness experience last night. See, it's easy to live out there because you have no oversight. Every day when we wake up, we see Israelites. We work with Israelites all day, and then we go to bed with Israelites, where they have their own dwelling places. I better make sure I say that right. One day somebody said to Brother Richard, they said, Yeah, I hear that y'all do a bunch of wife swapping down there. Brother Rich said, really? He said, Brother Rich said, now you know that ain't true. Because if that was true, you and every bootlicker in this town will be there. Folks ain't ready for speech, if you understand what I mean. We say a lot of things, but we're not ready. We're not ready for rebuttal. We're not ready for a vigorous discussion that's going to challenge what you believe in your heart. Over the years, I've learned you don't even answer outlandish, nonsensical remarks. If the Bible teaches us to avoid foolish questions, because there's a spirit that comes along with them, strife, right? Why even answer this fool right here? You can answer a fool according to his folly by not saying nothing. Because you never know what may come out of my mouth. Somebody say something like that to me, I said, man, I would say, man, why in the world would you want to even think about something like that when you committing sodomy with your wife? Then they get mad and all upset. What do you mean committing sodomy? That's what, say it again. Oh, so you mean tell me you're not sodomizing your wife and your brother? Well, hell no, I'm not sodomizing my wife and my brother. Then why would you turn around and make an accusation because you heard somebody say, I just heard it too. You committed sodomy with your brother and your wife. Fool. What a world. What a world. It's sad, isn't it? Would you like for somebody to say that you committing sodomy with your brother? No, we don't too much take account of when people accuse us, but we know where the fool is too. But no, you ain't ready. Most of y'all ain't ready. You ain't ready for no communities. No, you ain't. And even if we were forced to where situations and circumstances in this cosmos that we call the earth had to force us to reside together, you still wouldn't be ready because you'd mummer. Brother, you need to go out there on guard duty. Your post is from 2 to 4 in the morning. If I catch you sleeping, I'm going to put a bullet in your head so you can sleep all of eternity. You should have enough discipline to know that you're guarding Israel. Then to sit there and worry about your life of slumber. How can I get sleep as a leader when I should be leading this thing, when I got to go patrol and check on you to see if you're going to stay awake or not? You can't even be trusted. Well, I was tired. So your tiredness is greater than the security of Israel. So much for self-sacrifice, huh? See, who got a mind thinks like this? See, right now, life is all about you. You, yourself, and I. And you can't be selfish on the community. In any way, shape, fashion, or form. We don't have a will. Our will is the whole. What is the betterment for the whole? Well, what about me? Ye are dead. Ye are dead. Ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in Yah. Set your affections on things above and not on things of the earth. Ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in Yah. Glory. Well, we can't get to the glory part, because I'm still alive like a fish out of water kicking. See what I'm talking about? Next time y'all see Elder Rufus, don't bombard him. Ask him how many people were ready to move in on that little small community down there. Ask him. You got everybody think that they're the cream of the crop. They're ready until they start living. Ask him the grief he had to, he's had, him and Sister Jennifer, ask them the grief that they've had to endure with every single one of those saints down there. And they are just now turning the curve where they're getting it. They ain't there yet. I say they're just now turning the curve. And, but you different. You're an exception, right? I'm telling you, the latest few people we've added to this community, man, it's like they've been with us the last 18 years. Hallelujah. I'm serious. It is. They a permanent fixture on the road, and on the buildings, in the family. Because they didn't come here with no agenda. Uh-oh. Except to live for Christ. Woo-hoo. See, I can preach and I can talk like this because they that preach the gospel must also live. That's why my tone is different than any of these other preachers in the United States of America. Because when you live something, your tone is totally different. I'm not saying this because we don't want you to arrive. We just know what it takes. I've seen you before. Oh, no, you ain't. You just met me. No, I see your spirit. Isn't that amazing, Elder Doug, Brother Shane, how the people come around and they act a certain way and they think that we don't know who they are? We sit and look at it and go. Because even if you tell them, you still have not told them. Does that make sense? One day, the hope is that, man, something will click. Light bulb will come on. We'll know when the light bulb come on, I promise you. Until then, guess who got hell to pay until you get it? We do. Because you have a way that you have been functioning for so many years in this world. And you think because you named the name Christ that that's done changed your whole entire construct. It has reformed and reshaped your whole entire mind. No, it ain't. Even in the kingdom, people got in. And the king was the one that had to walk up to them and say, hey, friend, how'd you get here without a wedding garment? Can you imagine? They even got in. That is something. Woo-hoo. What does that mean? That means some of you are wearing that same garment. How'd you get here? You ought to hear some of the things that Pastor Corey has to endure ever since he's been a pastor. Woo-wee. Humans. Transformed in garment, but not transformed in spirit. I can only imagine how much grief those sisters have given Sister Gabby. These sisters ever give you any grief, Sister Carol? Whoa, is that not an indictment? Doesn't it make your heart fall out? Somebody was giving up their whole entire life for the way just so they can endure grief amongst their own people. That's why we keep talking about the wilderness experience. What was the name of that account? Them people was up in Russia, and they had one guy that was leading them by the Spirit, telling them which way to go. Called to the what? Called to the churches in America. And Yah was leading them, but every step of the way he led them, it was always rough. Go through this part right here. Another person would rise up and say, we need to go over here. First of all, number one, you ain't the voice, you ain't the leader, you ain't anointed, so why should somebody listen to you? Knowing that as soon as somebody looks over there and see that way that looks so clear, and you give voice to that spirit and say, go that way, somebody going to be emboldened to say, we ought to go that way. And then the leader's going to be in question. Well, Yah told me to go this way, but Yah told me. It happens. Ooh, boy, does it happen. The one thing we have never been without at this community is without the healing hand of Jesus. We could be here from now till past midnight going over miracles that just for you hearing it is just totally unfathomable in this generation. You know that fictitious being is way off in a wild blue yonder somewhere. And beside that, I mean, we have a living testimony. Would you even believe it? Yeah, you got witnesses, you know what I mean? Amazing, isn't it? We wish that everybody could, but the ideal is get your heart ready. Because whether we like it or not, the way that this world is going, we're going to be forced together. You better get that in your mind, because things are not going to continue on the way that they are. Do not fall for that delusion. You're going to need each other. Your family don't want you already. The world can't stand you. They tolerate you. In case you hadn't figured out, you're a bunch of misfits. The world loves its own. Next letter. Y'all okay?
Uh-oh, look at him looking.